Haribol. Hey guys, thanks for joining me on my channel today. I'm Sarah. This is Chala, and that's Abby. Today's practice will be all about the beginner, so I'll be breaking down some really common standing poses, and we'll be working on creating some strength. Yeah, what do you think? You may need a block for this practice, so have it nearby next to your mat so that you can grab it if you need it. If you enjoy practicing yoga on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel. I upload new videos every single week, and I would love to have you practice with me and see you on the mat again. Roll out your mat, and let's get started. Guys, you gotta give me some room. No? We'll start at the top of the mat in mountain pose, Tadasana. Bring the big toes together, heels slightly apart. Separate the toes and plant them down into the ground. Really root down through the floor. We'll engage the muscles in the legs. Suck in that belly button. Place the palms at the sides, palms facing forward. Shoulder blades are together at the back of the heart. Chest slightly lifted. Chin slightly tucked. And we'll take a few deep breaths here in mountain pose. We feel full activation throughout the body, through the arms, through the legs, lifting up through the head. We'll move into that victorious breath, Ujjayi Pranayama. The way we do this breath, we engage the throat just a little bit, closing a tiny bit in the throat so that we make a whisper-like sound with our inhales and exhales. We bring that sound into the postures so that we're able to focus the mind and also give ourselves the strength that we need to do these standing poses. It's going to be a lot of strength for us today, especially those of us that have never practiced yoga before. We're going to really work in the legs and create some fire here in the body. And by using this breath, we can maintain the poses just a little bit longer and feel our power coming from the inside, coming from this breath, this beautiful energy. Last big breath together. Then inhale and lift the arms up to the sky. Exhale, palms together, palms in front of the heart. Press the thumbs into the chest. Breathe deeply into the center of the heart. Find some peace in your mind. Use the breath to come into this present moment. This should feel really good. These are probably the first big, deep breaths that you've taken today. We tend to not breathe deeply in our normal lives, so this should feel really energetic. We're going to move into some sun salutations A. Okay, so we'll be breaking down a couple of sun salutations and some basic moves that you'll see really, really often in yoga classes. So we'll start out here in mountain pose, arms at the sides. One deep breath here. Then inhale, sweep the arms up. This is Urdhva Hastasana. And we exhale and forward fold down to Uttanasana. Here, we're going to take some time and really break down some of these poses. So we have our big toes together. It's just like in mountain, but we're folding forward. We want to make sure that we have the weight forward more over the middle of the feet and not leaning backwards. It doesn't matter if you're not touching, if you're not reaching the floor or anything, that doesn't matter. But we want to make sure that our weight is just right over the center of the feet. Relax the head. Whenever we fold down in Uttanasana, we want to have just a lot of relaxation here, just letting our whole body fall with gravity. Excellent. We'll take an inhale. We're going to come up with a flat back. We can place our hands on our shins, bring the shoulder blades together, and look forward. Hold here for a breath. And then exhale and fold back down to Uttanasana. Take another inhale And as we exhale, we'll bend the knees and plant the hands down. We step back to plank. Here we want to feel really strong, pushing the floor away. If this is really intense for us, we can always drop the knees. Once we're here, we take an inhale and we do Chaturanga Dandasana. The way we're going to roll into this is by leaning just a little bit forward, bending the elbows, keeping the elbows in, and lowering down. Again, this is a very strong pose. So when we're starting, knees down. This is really good for just working up the strength to be able to hold this pose. So we still lean forward and bend the elbows and tuck them in, and we keep that belly button engaged. Excellent. Once we're here, we bring the tops of the feet to the floor, and we lift up into upward facing dog. Our thighs are lifted off of the ground. We're pushing into the tops of the feet. Shoulder blades are together at the back of the heart. Chest is open and lifted, and we look up just a little bit. And again, we're holding these poses a bit longer than we normally would in sun salutation, but I just want to break these down a bit for you guys. Then with your next exhale, we'll suck in the belly button. We're going to lift the hips up, roll over the toes, and press back for downward facing dog. Now here, we want to make sure that our fingers are separated. We're pressing into the hands nice and firmly. We're rotating out in the upper biceps. And we're pressing the chest towards the thighs, lifting the hips as high as we can to get that flat back. We take the gaze in between the inner thighs, and we see that nice length all along the spine. Here, you may be up here with your heels, right? Your heels might be lifted, and that's perfectly fine. What I want to see and what you should be working on is just getting that straight spine action. Eventually, once we get a little bit more flexibility, we can start to move lower and lower, and maybe one day get the heels to the ground. And take 3 more deep breaths here. Then with your next exhale, we'll just drop the knees down into child's pose. So knees go down, tops of the feet to the floor, chest rest on thigh. And we bring the forehead down to the earth, arms extended forward, or they can be around the body, resting on the floor. This is our resting pose. A lot of teachers will tell you that downward facing dog is also a resting pose, and in fact it is, but when you're first starting, you just don't believe them. It's really hard to believe them because downward dog is really hard when you first start yoga. It's tough. It's a lot of strength in the arms. So this is where we want to go if you just really need a break and need to relax into the posture and come back to your breath. Two more big breaths here. If your arms are at your sides, we extend them forward, separating the fingers and really planting into the ground. We press a little bit into the hands and lift the chest up off of the thighs, tuck the toes and press them into the floor, lifting the knees off of the ground, and the hips rise up to the sky. Again, we press that chest towards the thighs, flatten out the back, take the gaze up and back. And last breath here. With an exhale, we look forward, bend the knees, and we can just take a nice little walk up to meet the hands. We inhale and find that flat back pose, right? Hands on the shins. We look forward, shoulder blades together at the back of the heart. And as we exhale, we go into Uttanasana, forward fold. Resting wherever our hands, our body allows us to rest at this point in our practice. With an inhale, we bend the knees, engage the stomach, and lift up. Urdhva Hastasana, arms up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart. Beautiful, guys. Nice job. We'll use a little bit more of a fluid motion to go through the postures. Okay, so we'll take it nice and slow still. We start out in mountain pose, arms at the sides, palms facing forward. Inhale, lift up to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. We let everything relax, head releases, face relaxes. Then with an inhale, we come up halfway, flat back, shoulder blades together. Exhale, lower, plant the hands, step back to plank. We take an inhale here, and then we have our options. Maybe we drop the knees to come into Chaturanga Dandasana, leaning forward and bending the elbows, hugging the elbows in. We bring down the tops of the feet, hips come down towards the earth, thighs are lifted. We inhale for upward facing dog. Heart is just melting forward as we look up. And exhale, roll over the toes, or we step the feet down. Downward facing dog. We'll stay here for 5 breaths. Last breath. And with that exhale, we bend the knees and look forward, and maybe just take a walk up to meet the hands. With an inhale, we come up flat back, hands to shins, and exhale, lower down, Uttanasana. Bend the knees, inhale, lift all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, arms up overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale down, planting the hands, stepping back to plank. Again, drop the knees if you need to. Inhale here. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, bending the elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths this time. With the exhale, we look forward, walk it forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, lower down, Uttanasana. Bend the knees slightly. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, palms to heart. 2 deep breaths here. Reconnect with your heart, with your breath. So that wasn't too bad, right? Sun Salutations A. So we're going to move in to a bit of a longer one now, Sun Salutation B. We start here in mountain pose. We inhale and drop down to chair pose, Utkatasana. So this one can be really difficult. We want to send the hips back, but we don't want to be curving in the spine and kind of sticking that booty out. We want to get our spine nice and long. So sit back, but also we want to keep the weight over the center of the feet, not dumping it too far back or too far forward. We have the chest lifted. The arms are raised, but we're not creeping up in the shoulders. Okay, so we have space in between our shoulders and our ears. Our fingertips are active. And we use that breath to feel strength here. Last breath. With an exhale, we fold down to Uttanasana. We inhale halfway up, flat back. Remember, shoulder blades together. looking a little bit forward. And as we exhale, we step back to plank. And we know this one. This is called a vinyasa when we go through this movement. So we have our Chaturanga Dandasana. Again, we can drop the knees. We push up, open the heart. Shoulder blades are together, thighs lifted off the ground. Upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. And stay here for 3 breaths. We exhale fully here, stepping the right foot forward. Left heel is down. We have heel to heel alignment here. We inhale and lift up. We're coming into warrior 1. So let's break it down. Again, like I said, we've got heel to heel alignment. So this heel matches up with that heel, yeah? The back foot is open at a 45-degree angle. And what we're aiming for is to not open up in the hips like this. We want to bring the hips around and square them. So really push the right hip back while pulling the left hip forward. Okay, here we've got a great bend to that right knee, which can start to burn like crazy. All right, if this is really intense, getting all the way down to that 90 degrees, then we can back it up. Right? We don't need to go full 90 degrees for this, especially when we're just beginning. So we want to have a bend to the knee, but we want to make sure that that bend is directly over the ankle, or maybe if you're not going as deep, a little bit behind. We don't want to be here, okay? This way we have nice support in the knee, and hopefully we're not going to hurt our knee, yeah? We want to always practice ahimsa, doing no harm. So let's support ourselves. Get that knee over the ankle. Good. So we've got the lower body kind of taken care of. How's that thigh going? Is it burning a little bit? I'm feeling a little bit of a burn. So we engage the core, lift the arms up. And again, just like I talked about in Utkatasana and chair pose, we want to have the shoulders strong, but the shoulder blades are actually staying down close to each other on the back, instead of separating and lifting up, okay? So we want to keep that nice space in between the shoulder and ear. So here we are, warrior 1. Let's take one more big breath. As we exhale, we'll lower down, hands on either side of the front foot. We step back to plank and go through a vinyasa. So again, we can drop the knees if we'd like. Chaturanga Dandasana, bending the elbows, planting the tops of the feet, lifting the thighs, hips are down, gaze is up. That's your inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. We'll take 3 breaths here. And again, if you need to take a break, child's pose is right there for you. No harm done. Right, Abby? Right. Last breath here. And this time we'll step the left foot forward. We have heel to heel alignment. Right foot this time is at a 45-degree angle. We have our left knee directly over our left ankle. Hips are swiveling forward, so we're square with the front of the mat. And again, we can have that knee at a 90 degree, or we can back it up a little bit and have a slightly less deep bend to the knee. And that way we're not straining so much. If this is the first time that we're doing any of these poses, we want to kind of take it easy at first, right? We want to feel the burn, but not kill ourselves. So engage the core, we lift up, arms overhead. And we'll stay here for 3 breaths. Maybe just one more for good luck. Big inhale, and as we exhale, we lower down. Hands on either side of the front foot. We step back to plank. Chaturanga Dandasana. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. That's upward facing dog. And Adho Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing dog. We'll just take 2 deep breaths here. And with that exhale, we walk it forward. Inhale, halfway up. And exhale, lower. Bend the knees. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, hands to the heart. So that was 1 full round of Surya Namaskar B, Sun Salutations B. So that's why it's not as popular. It's a bit longer, but it's a nice burn. So we'll go through 1 more round of that, a little bit more fluidly so that we can see how that is. So we start out with our Tadasana, standing nice and tall in the mountain pose. So we inhale, we drop the hips back, lift the arms up for chair pose. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. And exhale, lower down, step it back to plank. We have our vinyasa, Chaturanga Dandasana. If you want, drop the knees down, bend the elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog, thighs lifted, shoulder blades together. And exhale, downward facing dog. We'll step the right foot forward, left heel down at a 45, heel to heel alignment. We inhale and lift up. Warrior 1, exhale, lower down. Step it back to plank. Inhale here. We go through a vinyasa, Chaturanga Dandasana, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Lots of Svanasanas, lots of dogs, like the dogs that are running around my house right now. Let's step the left foot forward, right heel down, heel to heel alignment. Shift those hips, square with the mat. Inhale and lift up, warrior 1. Exhale, lower down. Hands on either side of the front foot. Step it back to plank. Go through your vinyasa. A little push up, a little upward dog, and a little downward dog. Excellent. We'll step it forward, both feet forward. We inhale halfway up, flat back, exhale. Fold it down. Bend the knees slightly. Inhale, lift, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's hold here. Press the thumbs into the chest. Notice how fast it's going. Check in with your body. Breathe deeply into this space. Breathe this healthy energy alive. And give gratitude, give thanks for being able to move this way. And if it's not easy, give thanks for that too. Thank you for the challenge. Beautiful. We'll move into another little sequence that is very, very popular. We'll start standing nice and firm on our left foot. We send the right foot back nice and wide. I'm going to move my pants up. And this time, instead of the 45, we're going to open up a little bit wider in the back foot, so the right foot. It's going to be more along the line of the short edge of the mat. We have heel to arch of the foot alignment this time. Okay, so this is opening up in our hips, and we're opening all the way for the long side of the mat. Okay, we still want to have the left knee directly over the left ankle, and we want to be really aware of its position because it tends to want to sink in, and that's not good for our knee. So we want to really make sure that we're pushing it out over the second and third toe on the foot. Okay, so we're nice and strong here. Again, if being down here where we're getting close to that 90 degree is really difficult, which for me it is today too, so you can lessen it just a little bit and get a little bit more of an angle here. Okay, this is perfectly fine. So we're working into our warrior 2 right now. So we want to have a nice tight core. We lift the arms up, palms facing down towards the ground. And our gaze is towards the front middle finger. So we should feel nice and strong in this pose. We don't want to have our shoulders way up here. We want to be right on level. We also want to make sure that we're not leaning towards one side or the other. So we're really just stacked strong in the middle. Let's take 2 more breaths. Now we'll flip the hands, the left hand, and inhale, lift it up towards the sky, reaching the right hand down towards the right leg. And we take our gaze, we're keeping that gaze right towards that middle finger. So really stretching all the way through the left side of the body, feeling that length there. And especially now that we can't see our knee, we want to make sure that we're not flopping in with the knee. We're still pressing the knee out towards the outer edge of the foot. Use the core, fully engage. Then inhale, lift up, both arms lifted back to warrior 2. With an inhale, we'll straighten the left leg. Exhale, we'll tip forward with the body. So like we're reaching towards the wall, if you've got a wall in front of you like I do. Reaching forward, and exhale, lower down. Left hand to left leg, right hand up to the sky. Now this can be really intense, and this is where this guy comes in. So we can place a block. If we find that that pose that I just described is like, what are you talking about? There's no way that's happening. We place the block on the inside of the left foot, and that way we have a support, okay? Here, our alignment is really important in the hips. So we want to have our right hip opening and stacking on top of our left hip reaching down and forward. So we're trying to get all of this in one plane. Our gaze here can be up at the right hand. If this is a strain on your neck though, you can always look down. And again, these blocks are really great because you can challenge yourself and lower a little bit, and then maybe a little bit more, and then eventually maybe you're off. Okay? It's all about patience and persistence. Okay, one more breath here. Inhale, we'll engage the core, lift up, rebend in that left knee. Exhale. Inhale, sweep the arms forward, shifting the hips towards the short edge of the mat, forward. And we'll exhale, lower down to plank. Here we'll just drop the knees and send it back to child's pose. So hips to heels, chest on the thighs, forehead on the earth. Great job, guys. This is making me sweat too, so if this is hard, don't think that you're alone. Spread in the fingers, push into the hands. We'll lift up to tuck the toes and press the floor away as we lift the knees off of the ground. We find downward facing dog. Press that chest towards the thighs. Release the tension in the neck and the face. Last breath here. And on an exhale, we slowly walk the feet up to meet the hands. We inhale halfway up and exhale lower. Bend the knees, inhale, lift the arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart. Excellent. We'll go into the other side. So we'll plant that right foot, nice and strong, step the left foot back. We want our foot this time aligned, the instep with the heel. And the foot is placed the same angle as the short edge of the mat. We bend into the right knee, push the knee towards those second and third toes there on the right foot. We have the hips open, core right through the center, engage and lift the arms. We take our gaze to the right middle finger and we breathe here. I'm going to go for 3 more really deep and slow breaths. Flip the right hand. We inhale and lift it up to the sky. Taking the gaze there as well. The left hand reaches for the left leg. And we maintain awareness of that right leg, pressing the right knee out towards the outer edge of the right foot. Feeling that long stretch all along the right side of the body. Keeping the breath engaged and active. Last breath. We inhale and lift up. Exhale into Warrior Two. Inhale, straighten the right leg. Oh, thank goodness. And exhale, reach it forward in the right hand and drop it down. Right hand down towards the ground, left hand up towards the sky. Again, if we want a little bit of help, we bring that block into the instep, the right foot. And that way we can really focus on the hip movement. We want to bring that left hip back, right hip forward, and have everything in a nice smooth plane. So maybe we don't go down that far. Maybe we're up here so that we're able to keep that alignment in the hips. And again, the gaze can be up or down, whatever feels good for your cervical spine, for your neck. Two more breaths. Then with an inhale, we lift up. Exhale back into Warrior Two. We inhale, lift both arms up to the sky, shifting the hips towards the short edge of the mat, lifting the left heel. And exhale, lower down. And we'll drop the knees, come into Child's Pose. Awesome job, guys. Fully take advantage of this rest. If you want to bring your arms down by your sides. Just relax here. Reconnect with the breath. And check in with the body. Last breath. Then with an inhale, we'll place the arms forward and set ourselves up for Tabletop Pose. So fingers are widely spread, hands directly under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And we'll just slow this practice down with some cat-cow breaths. So we inhale and we drop the belly, tilt the pelvis, and look up towards the sky. This is our big fat cow. And exhale, we'll come into cat, tucking everything in. So the belly button comes up towards the ceiling, chin to chest, separate through the shoulder blades, and maybe lift in the pelvic floor if you like to do that kind of thing. Inhale, drop the belly, look up. Really just noticing all of the movement in the vertebrae. Checking in with the spine, seeing how it's doing today. Inhale, drop the belly. And exhale, cat. Tighten everything in. Inhale, drop the belly, look up, cow. Last cat. And we'll send the hips back for Child's Pose. One last time. last breath here. Make it count. And we'll press into the hands. Set up for downward facing dog. Pressing the hips up towards the sky. Heels reach towards the earth. And then we'll walk the feet up to meet the hands. And we'll come into a seat. Good job, you guys. Really nicely and easily, we're going to place the forearms back behind us and lay down. Hug the knees into the chest. And take a moment here. And again, just do a full scan of the body. Just notice if we're feeling tight anywhere. If you want to take a quick stretch here on your own, feel free. Otherwise, just notice the sensations in the body and the work that you've done. And then when you're ready, we're going to set up for our final resting pose, and that's Shavasana. Shavasana is one of those sneaky poses because it looks ever so easy, but it's really quite difficult because we're no longer doing any work, any physical labor in the body, and we're just stuck with the mind. We're just here noticing what's going on in the mind, and it's pretty crazy when you finally start paying attention to what your mind is doing. It's always on its own little journey out in the world. So this is the pose where we really bring it in, we reel it in, and we come into our heart space, and we come into the present moment, and we just feel that innate joy that we receive when we are just living from the present moment. So I'll be playing a little bit of crystal bowl with mantra for you guys for the Shavasana. So please feel free to enjoy just a couple of minutes. This is for you to enjoy just laying here and recharging for the rest of your day, or maybe just winding down for your night. Really enjoy it. Take advantage of it because we really don't rest enough as human beings, most of us. So feel free to fully relax here. Just let your body melt into the floor. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. It's Om peace, peace, peace. You'll hear this a lot throughout your yoga practice. if you decide to take the journey with us and keep on practicing. So simple and so sweet. Om, peace, peace, peace. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Open your mouth and exhale. Take a deep inhale through the nose once again. Open the mouth and exhale. Begin to awaken the body, making small movements in the fingers and toes, the hands and feet. Stretch the whole body, reaching the arms up overhead. And maybe hug the knees into the chest. And roll to your right side. Slowly push yourself up to a comfortable seat, cross-legged, Sukhasana. Softly open your eyes. Welcome the light back into your life. And we bring the hands into heart center. And give thanks for this practice and for this time that we've carved out for ourselves. And I'm so grateful that you decided to spend this time with me. Namaste. Thanks for showing up today, guys. If you enjoyed this practice, please subscribe to my channel. I have new classes every single week, and I would love to see you back here on the mat. Right, Abby? What do you think? They should subscribe, right? Thanks again, guys. Jai Jai Shri Radhe.